with Python and as well as Cypress and Playwright with JS, Playwright with TS, Playwright with Python. Okay. So normally, right, means my current role is like I am working as a principal architect in one of the top product-based organization. And I am responsible for giving solutions to multiple teams where we need to enable automation checkpoints to perform testing. Okay, that is nothing but a little bit intro about me. Now, in today's session, right, the main agenda is like, see, we are going to drive this session for 1 hour, 15 minutes to 1 hour, 1.5 hours. So here, right, the main agenda is like, we need to understand, see, nowadays, right, see, that means first, a little bit basic, see, the attendees, right, who actually are attending here, right, they may be completely, they just got relieved and they may be some freshers and there may be some real-time experienced guys who want to upgrade themselves or migrate themselves towards Playwright. Okay. So let me just first, give you a quick overview. It's like why we need automation and why automation is important and why this was played as a major role in our current real practice. Okay, and then we'll start with other activities. Like I will show you quickly that how you can do your Playwright setup on your mission and how you can quickly generate tests. And then I will show you that why we are saying right Playwright is currently right people are saying that for whatever organization or whatever application that you're working, right, it will be migrated to Playwright in our next upcoming years, and you will see only Playwright automation in the market. So why we are saying that? So we will see the major top 5 problems that what we see in our real practice and how these are getting solved in your Playwright. Okay, how these are getting solved in your Playwright. Okay. And I'll also show you a little bit the trends. Max to max, right? I'll try to make our session a little bit hands-on. So you will understand the perspective. Okay, so the main here, right? Here, right? See, please don't be into an idea that we are going to see end to end. We will see some major elements through which that we are able to achieve it using your Playwright automation testing. And I will show you that how this has resolved your real-time problems when you compare it with other tools. Okay. So it's very simple. So I'll just give you a quick hands-on. And see, means I'll also help you. Means I'll also give you a Q&A session for at least 15 minutes. So if you have any questions, right, you can also ask me so that I'll also help you with why we need to use it with supportive answers as well. Okay, and I'll also give you a small roadmap that whenever you're learning your Playwright, right, that what we need to learn and why we need to learn them as part of your Playwright automation testing. Okay, so it's like this session is like for a layman. Actually, he does not have any knowledge in Playwright. So if he needs to start this Playwright testing automation, right? So he should understand that why we need to use this, even though you have multiple tools in the market. Okay, and why people started migrating their existing frameworks to this Playwright. And see, normally, right, in your previous years, right, whenever we got any new tool in the market, if I need to migrate my existing scripts from my existing tool to that particular new tool, right, it is very tedious task. But when you use this Playwright, and nowadays, right, AI is also when we are integrating this with AI, right, it also made that migration approach as well very easy when you compare it with other tools in the market. So we will see those advantages. See, I will try my best to show you some examples as an hands-on. Means we can't cover everything. It's like I'll show you that how these are advantages in your Playwright. Okay, I am a .NET full stack. What is use of it? See again, when I say Playwright. This can be used with multiple languages. You can use that with Java, JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, and as well as .NET as well. And see, nowadays, right, the expectation of your real perspective got changed, right? See, we say shift left testing. So it means we don't want two separate teams like developers and as well as testers. So we want everybody should have knowledge. If you are a tester, right, you should have knowledge a little bit on development. And in the same way, right, if you are a developer, right, you should also have a knowledge on testing. So that we can quickly enable in-sprint automation, we can quickly enable in-sprint testing. So even though you are a developer or you are a tester, right, this playwright, right, you need to learn playwright to quickly understand that how you can quickly automate your tests and add checkpoints to confirm your application is working with the quality. So it is not only for developers. I don't know, means what normally, right, many people in real practice, right, they will be towards an impression that if I say testing means only testers will do it. That was wrong actually. Testing is not a single man or a single team responsibility in your real practice. It should be contributed. I mean, if I need to achieve a proper quality product, right? Every resource who is actually involved as part of that particular process is responsible for testing their respective deliverables. Then only you will get a quality product at the end before getting it to release it to your production. If you think that only testers are responsible, right, then it is like a blame game. Then it does not have any meaning in it. Okay, so let me just give you a little bit basics, and then we'll start. So today's agenda, right? So it's like first we will see. First we are going to see. See, normally we say playwright, right? We say playwright, right? So first we will see first let me just list out some real problems that what we see with our traditional tools. Okay. And then we'll try to compare that with your then we will see that how your playwright is resolving those problems. Okay, and here, right, see, due to time constraint, right, we are not going to see that why, we are not going to compare with multiple tools. We will compare, but what we will see is, we will see the top real problems that what we see when we are automating your application. Okay, so the first part here is, first we will see little bit basics on what is testing, and then we will see why we need automation testing. And then we will see that what tools are in the market which actually helps us to perform this automation testing. And then we will see what are some real problems or challenges that we see when we are using those tools. And then we will see how that has been solved using your playwright. How these challenges are getting solved using your playwright. How these challenges, right? Whatever the challenges that you see, right? How we are able to solve them using your playwright. Okay. And if I need to show that as an example, right? Here, right? We'll also see how you are going to quickly set up your playwright and how you can quickly generate a test for it and how you can run it. And we'll also see some basic features which are already given in your playwright, how to enable them and how to choose them. See, normally, right? It is like okay. I see. It is like we are going to start a new batch on February 4th. So there may be few people who are actively planning for those sessions. So there may be few questions which they I can ask you on that sessions as well. So if you see, right, if I need to write my playwright, if I need to learn playwright automation, right, we need to spend around 45 to 50 hours. 45 to 50 hours. So normally, right, so I'll tell you, so you'll understand that, yeah, it will be near to 2 months or 2.5 months. It again depends upon the speed of delivery. See, it means, see, for example, if you are already an experienced guy and if you already have knowledge on some other tool and some other language, so if that batch contains full of experienced people, right, then it may be completed within 45 to 50 hours. If you are a layman, and normally, right, every batch contains some laymen who are new to completely towards automation testing, then it may extend another 10 hours. So it may fluctuate between 65 to 70 hours. So assuming that you are a layman, you don't have any knowledge on programming, you don't have any knowledge on Playwright, and you are completely new to testing. So to drive that, right, will take around 65 to 70 hours. And here, right, if I say automation, right, we are not only going to drive only UI automation. So we drive automation testing in all these three aspects: UI, API, and as well as DB. And we will also see that how you can also perform visual testing, how you are also be able to perform mobile emulation testing using your Playwright. So Playwright not only supports your functional UI, it also has the other criteria of testing, right, which it supports. So we are also going to drive them as well as part of these particular sessions. Okay, anyway, now see, means what we are going to drive as part of those sessions, right? That anyway, we'll show you that how in your first session of your in your first session of those planned sessions. Now today's session is completely is little bit different, right? So we want people to understand. It is not like into in a business perspective. We want actually what problems that we actually see as part of automation and how we are able to solve those problems using your Playwright. So many people, right, may think, sir, it is like, see, now let me just show you, let me just give you a real example. It's like, say, for example, you are a person, right? So let us assume that you are a resource, okay? Now you already using some tool to do your activity. Let us say your activity is nothing but your automation. Now let us say I want to just let us map it as an example. Let us say I am a person where we are actually calling it as a resource. Now I need to do some task. If I need to do that particular task, right, that task, right, again, it can be manually, I can do it manually. Okay, I can also automate it. I can also automate it. Now, if I need to do manually, let us say I want to travel from one location to another location. That is nothing but my task. One location to another location means I need to travel from one location to another location. Let us assume that I can walk and I can go, which is nothing but where I am going to do it manually. And if I want a little bit speed up, then what I will do, I may use a cycle. Okay. So it is like I am automating the same walking process. Okay, the same walking process using your automation tool. Using your automation tool. Okay, so now let us assume that in automation tool, right, again, we have lot of tools, right? Let us assume that the cycle is nothing but like Selenium or some other tools in the market. Okay, I can simply say this is nothing but some other tools in the market. Now, if I want to speed this automation approach itself, let us say I want to use a bike or I want to use a car, right? This is nothing but your Playwright. So this is nothing but your Playwright. It means, see, I want to just clearly make you to understand. See, many people will ask me a question, right? So it's like, sir, we are saying Playwright, and Playwright will lead your next 10 to 15 years of your automation testing. But we already have a lot of tools in the market, like Selenium, Playwright, Robot Framework, Cypress. We also have a lot of tools in the market. That is also fulfilling the same perspective. Then why we need to migrate it to Playwright? It means very simple. So if you see, right, cycle will also help you to travel from A to B, and bike or car, your bus or your public transport will also help you to travel from A to B. But the speed, the speed also matters, right? And as well as the learning capability of that particular tool also matters. So for example, see, if I already know to drive cycle, right, I can use the cycle to drive that task where I need to travel from A to B. Now, if I use bike, if I already know cycle, right, it is very easy for me to learn bike because I already know balancing. but I need to learn a few things through which I can quickly use bike to for my traveling. So it means the learning, the learning scope, right? That what it is, even if you see, right, the learning scope that what we need to learn to quickly migrate from your cycle to your bike, right? That is also is minimal, right? So in the same way, right? Even though if you are using any other tool in the market for your current automation, if you want to migrate it to your Playwright, it is very easy by learning a few tips. So you can quickly learn the new tool Playwright, and you can quickly migrate your existing scripts to your Playwright. And if you see, right, see, cycle and as well as bike, both helps us to do the same task. If I need to travel from A to B, right, I can use cycle, I can use bike. But if you see, right, the advantages when you compare it with the cycle and as well as the bike, right, which is better means you will always choose bike, right? In the same way, in the market, even though if you have other tools, which also helps us to automate, but when you compare that tool with your existing tools, right, Playwright tool, right, Playwright has a lot of advantages and which actually solves some real problems in your real practice. So that is the reason we are actually using Playwright, and people started migrating to your Playwright tool. People started migrating to your Playwright tool. Okay, so anyway, let me just make it very simple. So I know that there are few people who are completely new. For that, right, see, I want to just give only, I want to just explain at least 5 minutes that about the little bit basic on testing. On testing. So let me just make it a little bit basic. So it is like, see, for example, we say a software application. Okay, we say a software application. Okay, we actually see a term called software, right? Okay, software, and or else some people say software application, right? So normally, right, whenever you see a term called software application, we have different types. Okay, we have web-based applications. We have standalone. It means desktop-based applications. We see mobile-based applications. These are like we see a lot of applications in the market. So let me just make it as etc. So we see different types of applications in the market. Now, major applications, right, that you see in your real practice are relevant to web applications, which are globally used by different users. Okay, so any application which you are accessing through browser, right? Like we say browsers, right? Like a Chrome browser, Firefox browser, Internet IE browser, Edge browser, etc. If you are accessing any application through browsers, we actually call them as web applications. We actually call them as web applications. Now, whenever I need to test any web application, right? That web application has majorly three layers. Okay, whenever you see any web application, right, it has majorly three layers. So one is nothing but the UI, that what you see on your browser. You will see an API layer, which is nothing but what we actually call it as business layer in the backend, where a developer will write some code to perform that activity. And then it may need some DB support from where it retrieves data or stores data. So whenever you see any application, right, any web application, right, it has these three layers like UI, API, and DB. And whenever you are going to access your application from UI, right, again, you may access it from your from your mission or desktop, or else you can also access that from your desktop. You can also access that from your tab. You can also access that from your mobile. Okay, from your mobile browser. From your mobile browser. So if you see here, right, UI API and as well as DB. UI API and as well as DB. Now, if I need a tool in the market which supports all these three layers, means see, for example, whenever I need to test this particular application, right, I need a tool which actually helps me to test that application from UI API and as well as DB. UI API and as well as DB. So if I need a tool which actually tests from all these three layers, right, then the best tool is nothing but Playwright. See, many people, right, may have a doubt. Sir, we can also use Selenium, which is the most popular tool, which is used around 80% of your projects in your real practice. Then why can't we use Selenium? See, if you really analyze it, right, Selenium is a library. What in a, or we can simply say it in technical terms, right? We actually say it is a jar file. Okay, so it's a library. It only helps us to perform UI testing. But for example, if I need to do API, we actually use a REST assured or HTTP client. Again, we have different libraries that we actually use to perform your API testing. Again, if I need to use DB, again I need to use DB relevant libraries to which I can connect, and then only I can actually perform this DB testing. But if I use Playwright, right, these are already inbuiltly provided. Except for DB, we need to use again libraries. Again, we actually need to use libraries which are available through which you can quickly connect and you can test your and you can retrieve data from your DB. And apart from this, right, your Playwright will also support visual testing. Visual testing means you can also compare two screens in your web application and you can identify deviations between them. See, it's not like that you are going to check whether that element is present on that particular application. If I need to check whether that particular element is available, right, that can be done even though using with Selenium or even though using with your Playwright. But if I need to compare two screens, means let us say I am taking screenshots of two web pages and I want to compare two web pages and I want to retrieve what is different in that particular two web pages. Even though it can be relevant to alignment, color coding, what any that what you see as an UI on the UI part, right? If I need to identify those deviations, then we actually need to perform visual testing. So in real practice, right, if I need to use Playwright, means when I use Playwright, right, you can perform UI, you can perform API, you can perform DB, and you can also perform visual testing. You can also perform visual testing. You can also perform visual testing. Now, anyway, this is like what type of testing that you can use your Playwright to perform it. So first one, right, you need to understand, say normally, right, we are actually saying a software application, right? Whenever I say a software application, right, whenever I say a software application, right, if I need to develop that particular software application, right, we actually follow a process. We actually follow a process. That process is SDLC, Software Development Life Cycle. Now, in that process, right, we have multiple stages. In that, right, one of the stage is nothing but testing. What we actually call it as a software or what we actually call it as a system testing. What we actually call it as software or what we actually call it as system testing. Now, if I need to do this testing, right, again, we actually follow a process. That process is called as STLC. See, if you already have some manual testing basics, right, you would have understood these terms. But even though if you don't understand this, right, anyway, we'll drive that in our actual sessions. But this session is to, you need to understand these, right, that why we are using, why automation is important and why we are using Playwright for automating them, right? So for that, right, you need to quickly understand a high level flow. So if I need to develop any software application, I need to follow a process. That process is SDLC. Now under to this SDLC, right, again we have different types. In that, right, one of the type is Agile. So what we see in our real practice, people say, right, we are following Agile, we are following Agile methodology. So one of the process is Agile. So in this SDLC, right, we have different stages. In that, one of the stage is nothing but testing, where we actually do software or system testing. And if I need to do this, right, again, if I need to do this, right, again, I need to follow a process which is nothing but STLC. Now, whenever I need to do this testing, right, again, we see two types of testings. One is nothing but what we actually call it as functional, and the second one is nothing but what we actually call it as non-functional testing. So, if I talk about functional testing, right, here you need to test your application. Here you need to test whatever the application that you want to test, right? That application should be tested from UI, API, and as well as DB. And if you want, right, you can also do your visual testing through which you are saying that application is working fine as expected. As working fine as expected. Now you may get one doubt. Okay, now you may get one doubt. So if I need to test this, right, again, if I need to perform this testing, right, again, that can be done in two ways. So what are those two ways? I can manually test it I can manually perform all these types of testings, or else I need to automate it. If I need to automate it, right, there are a lot of tools in the market. Let us say, I can say we have Selenium, we have Cypress, we have a Playwright. Let us take only the top tools which are leading in the market. Okay, or else we also have a robot framework, which is nothing but, many people will not have idea on it, but it is very, very rare and it is very, very important, where you will also see lot of options in the market. Okay, but anyway, so I don't want to get into those details. So you see a lot of tools in the market to automate it. So first step here is you need to understand why we need automation. See, in automation, we are actually choosing Playwright. We will see why we are choosing Playwright. But first you need to understand a little bit basic, how you are going to, why we are actually choosing this automation. So it's very simple. See, let us say let us take some simple example. Let us say you are working in a bank. Okay. Let us say you have 5 customers per day. Okay, you have 5 customers per day who actually reach bank to do their activities. Whether it can be credit, debit, or any something they want to do some activity with their bank account. Okay, so very simple. Normally we drive our sessions from Monday to Friday, and we don't do sessions on Saturdays and Sundays for first 4 weeks of your course. After 4 weeks, right, we will do one session on Saturday as well. It will be a workshop. Means we will pick one tool and we'll do that workshop on every Saturday as well. After completion of your first 4 weeks of your sessions. I will tell you means, what was the plan, right? That plan and why we are going to do workshops, right? Why it is very important. If you want to understand your real problems and how it actually helps you to quickly learn your automation tool, right? That I will explain you when I am explaining you about the roadmap of your Playwright automation testing. Okay, as of now, right, just a little bit basic, this is like a workshop, right? Here we are not going to market anything apart from about our course. This is like we want people to understand that why we are using automation, and in automation, why we are using automation instead of performing manual. And if I need to do automation, right, we have a lot of tools in the market, but why we are actually choosing Playwright? And in Playwright, right, we will see the top 5 problems that what we see in our real practice and how Playwright is solving those 5 problems when you compare it with other tools. When we compare it with other tools. So this is what it is. Okay, so please stick to this. So if you see here, right, now, right, let us assume that we have 5 customers. Let us say I am holding a bank and I regularly have 5 customers who reaches my bank to do their operations. Okay, now let us assume that then, right, I need only one cashier. I can manage these 5 customers using one cashier. Now let us assume that now my customers got increased to 5,000. Okay. Now my customers got increased to 5,000. Now I can't, now I can't maintain the same 5,000 customers using an single cashier, right? Where he actually does this using manually. So now let us assume that then what I will do is I will purchase some missions. Billing counter missions where, right, whatever the actions that what end user is need to perform, right? I want to automate that manual process using missions and by setting up some process or tools, process and tools. So I can still handle 5,000 customers if I add these process tools and or missions through which I am able to automate that particular process, which actually helps me to handle 5,000 customers. In the same way, when I have 5 customers per day, where my cashier is handling it manually. In the same way, right, if you see the same as part of your software application, right, as part of your software application development, right, development, right. So if you see, right, see normally, right, previously, right, they used to see whenever if I say software application, right, it is nothing but I can simply say it is nothing but a collection of functionalities to which actually helps us to fulfill some perspective. Okay. So if I say software application, right, I can simply define it has some collection of functionalities. Now, whenever we are going to develop any functionalities, right, we use it to follow some span where we actually give these functionalities to end users. So that is nothing but what we actually call it as release. Okay, that is nothing but what we actually call it as release. It means, so very simple. We have whenever I need to develop any software application, right? Okay, whenever I need to develop some software application, right? It has multiple functionalities. It has multiple functionalities. Now I can't give all the functionalities at a time to my end user. At a time to my end user who is actually using it. At a time to my end user who is actually using these functionalities. I will actually give that by as an phase by phase. In first phase, I will give three functionalities. In second phase, let us say I will give another six. Means whatever the functionalities that are available on my application, right? We are going to give those functionalities by developing, and I will release them in phase by phase. So previously, right, when we are developing, when we are releasing them, right, we used to do it for every 6 months, or we used to do it for every year, okay, or on yearly basis, right? We used to develop and we need to release them to our end users. So in that case, right, we have sufficient time to test our application. And even though the testing was slow, right, using manual perspective, right, we are able to test that what we need to release as part of for every 6 months or for every year, and we use it to give them to our we use it to provide them to our end users so that they can actively use it. But nowadays, right, we are into agile, right? We are into agile. So we always want to customize and develop our application that what customer is looking in our application. It is not like that what you give, right, customer should use it. It's like we are a level head where we are going to develop our application that how it actually helps customers to quickly adopt and use that as part of their real practice to solve their problems. So now what we have done, now we have changed our perspective. Whenever I'm going to develop our application, right, we have changed that to weekly releases, and in some organizations, right, we'll also release it daily. Whenever it is a priority one which is blocking your end user, we actually need to develop that application. You actually need to develop that functionality and release that to end user and release that to your end user on weekly or daily basis. Now it is not like that. I need to wait for 6 months or I need to wait for 1 year to get that functionality enabled in your production, which will be used by your end users. It is nothing but live environment. So nowadays, right, we are also doing releases on weekly and as well as daily basis. So whenever you are going to do your release in your weekly or daily basis, right, or else sometimes, right, let us say I already released today and I see I had seen some issue. Now immediately I will do another release, right, another release on the same day. There may be multiple releases on the same day as well. There is possibility of doing multiple releases on the same day as well. So every small change that what you do on your application can also can also break something on your application. It means can also deviate something on your existing application. So if I need to ensure that my existing functional, let me just show you that in a diagrammatic representation. Now let us say these are nothing but different features. This is feature 1, feature 2, feature 3, feature 4, feature 5, feature 6, feature 7 like this. Now developer has taken first two features and developed it. Now it contains the first two features. Now it got released to production. This is nothing but a server where we actually deploy it. Now I have deployed it. So end user is start using these two new features. Now next time, right, I'm taking three features and I want to combine these three features under to my application like 1, 2, and 3. Now I want to release that to my production so end user can access it. So end user can access and start using these functionalities as well. But whenever I'm going to release this to production, right? Previously these releases are for every 6 months or for 1 year. But now, right, due to we say, right, fast releases with good employee end users feedback, right? I can release that even in a day or even on weekly basis. Or you can also release multiple builds on a multiple, you can also release that for multiple times on a single day. So whenever I'm going to release it, right, I should also test whether that my new features are working fine, and as well as whatever existing features which are already available, right, that should also work fine. If I need to speed up this testing, right, I can't do that manually. I need to automate that particular process without any manual intervention, right? Whenever I need to do a release, right, I should ensure that by running my automation, I need to check all my existing functionalities are working fine as expected. That is your older approach. But nowadays, right, they also want the new features also should be quickly automated, and this new feature testing should be also done through automation. That is what we say in sprint automation. In sprint automation means whatever the features that we are going to develop, right? I want to develop that before getting them released to your production. So that is what we say in sprint automation. If I want to do automation, right, we actually use a lot of tools like you can use Selenium, you can use Cypress, you can use Playwright. But if I want to speed up my new features as well, and I want to also test them as well using automation, then there are only few tools that are supported to enable this in sprint automation. In that, right, one of the major and which actually quickly helps us to speed up your script design to enable automation testing is Playwright. Is Playwright. So that is one of the advantage that why, right, people started migrating to Playwright. Even though we have lot of tools in the market, even though we have lot of tools in the market. So here, right, majorly you need to understand two things. Like the first thing here is you need to understand why we need automation. And the second thing is even though in automation, right, if I need to speed up my automation testing as well, then we need some tool which quickly helps me to generate automation and also automate to test those features before getting it to your production. If I need to speed up that process as well, right, we need to choose a tool which actually supports these activities. So that was supported by Playwright when you compared with other tools. That is one of the reasons that why we people started using Playwright in their real practice. People started Playwright in their real practice. This is one advantage. Now, if you see here, right, if I want to tell you, right, if I want to tell you, right, now you got some idea, right, like why we do testing. It's like I need to identify the deviations from my functionality. Okay, second one is if I do testing, right, I can manually do it, I can automate it. But if I need to manually do it, right, again, we have a challenge. It is like a slow process. And since we are manually doing it, right, there is possibility of missing a few. But if you automate it, right, if you do it for once, right, you can reuse it for multiple times. And you can also do that with the same speed, and you can also you can also avoid human errors that what we do as in humans that cannot be done by your automation script. So that is the reason, right, we actually need to enable automation as part of our application testing, and that should be in sprint means whatever that was developed as part of that particular phase, right, we need to quickly test them using your automation, and then it should be released to your production, which can be accessed by your end users, which can be accessed by your end users, which can be accessed by your end users. So anyway, now we will see now we will see some other examples. Like we have lot of tools in the market, right? We have lot of tools in the market through which you can perform automation. Through which we can perform automation. Now, in that, right, most popular tools are nothing but Selenium. We actually use Cypress, and we actually use currently, right, you will see major number of organizations are using Playwright. Okay, using a Playwright, and they are migrating to your Playwright automation testing. And we also have other, but if you consider the top three, right, these three are the top three tools which you normally see in the market. Now, you need to understand what are the top five challenges that we normally see while automating an application. When we are when you are implementing automation of an application, when you are going to implement automation testing on an application, okay, on automation testing of application, okay. So what are those 5 problems? So first thing here is we need to understand them. Okay, we need to understand them. What would be the top 5 problems? Okay, what would be the top 5 problems? Okay, so first, let me just make it very simple by just listing out what are those problems. Okay, what are those problems? Okay, then we will see means. See, we have a lot of problems, but in that, right, I am just choosing at least 5 so that you will easily understand that why we are actually using only these 5 problems through which you are able to through which you are able to solve those problems. So see, first problem is multi-browser. Okay, first problem is multi-browser. It means, see, normally, right, if I need to perform cross-browser testing, right, we actually use a term technically called as cross-browser testing, where you are going to test your application on multiple browsers to check compatibility, whether your application is properly behaving on different browsers. So this is your first problem. Second problem is your parallel execution. Now let us say whenever I want to reduce my time, right, I actually need to use parallel execution. Third problem is I need to use some tool through which let me so instead of directly writing this, right, it is like this is like a traditional way. It is like many people write it in blogs, right? Like these are the problems and these are solved by this particular tool. So it's very simple. Instead of that, right, let us map that with your testing life cycle. Then you will easily understand it. That why we are using Playwright to solve those problems. So normally, right, as I said, you right, whenever I need to do testing, right, I will also follow a process. I will also follow a process. That process is called as STLC, Software Testing Life Cycle. Software Testing Life Cycle. So this process also has multiple stages. Okay. This process also has multiple stages. Now, if you see, right, in this, right, first stage is nothing but planning. Second stage is nothing but design. Okay. See, normally, right, when you go through blogs, right, they will also say a stage called strategy. Okay. See, strategy is common at your organization level. Why it is, I'll tell you. I'll tell you in our upcoming sessions, right? But as of now, right, see, we majorly, if I need to test something, right, I need to plan, I need to design, and then I need to execute, and then I need to report, okay, and finally I need to do closure. So these are nothing but different stages of your STLC, Software Testing Life Cycle. So if I need to plan, right, it means I need to define the scope that should be tested as part of that particular functionality. Whatever functionality I need to release, right, I need to test that particular functionality, means I need to define that particular scope. So this scope can be easily identified without any manual intervention if you are using Playwright. In Playwright, right, we have Playwright agents. We have Playwright. See, again, if I need to, see, I can simply say, if I need to follow this scope, right, scope that should be tested as part of that particular functionality, right, that can be done using Playwright. Under to Playwright, right, we have a concept called Playwright agents. In that, right, we have an agent called planner agent. If you use this agent, right, you can quickly identify the scope that should be tested. You can easily identify the scope that should be tested as part of that particular functionality without any manual intervention. See, normally, if I need to plan, right, what I need to test as part of that particular application, right, I need to first define scope. Previously, right, we used to prepare that planning document manually and we use it to identify what should be tested as part of that particular functionality as a document. But now, right, if you use your Playwright and in Playwright, right, you have Playwright agents. In that, right, we have an agent called planner agent. If you are using that agent, right, it will automatically define the scope that should be tested as part of that particular application. It will automatically analyze your application and it will automatically define the scope to test as part of that particular application. So this can be automated without any manual intervention. See, for example, if I need to prepare a planning document to test some functionality, right? It will take around 4 to 5 hours of time to prepare that particular planning document with the defined scope. But if I use this, playwright agent, right, planner agent, right, it will generate plan in 5 minutes. And even though if I review it and if I correct that particular plan, right, it will not take more than 30 minutes of time to complete planning for that particular functionality through which I can define what should be tested as part of that particular functionality. And this is like this is like one of the feature that is available through which you can also reduce your planning of your testing, that what you need to do as part of that particular functionality can be also automated. Now it means the outcome of this will be you will get scenarios and test cases. And then right, once we get that right, now once we get that right, it means using this planning agent, right, you are able to identify scope and you are also able to identify your your design. It is like design, right? Again, let me just see design, right? Again, it has two perspectives. So if I say design, right, I need to identify the list of test cases that should be tested. So that is also design. Now these test cases should be automated. Now whatever the cases that I have identified, right, that should be automated. So it can be executed without any manual intervention, without any manual intervention, without any manual intervention. So if I need to automate it, right, again in Playwright, right, again we have another agent called Playwright, Playwright generator. Okay, Playwright generator. Okay, Playwright generator agent through which you can automatically convert all the test cases that we got as per the test plan, and everything will be converted into automation scripts without any manual intervention. It will automatically write your automation code as well. And here, right, see, when we are designing it, right, not only using your generator agent, you can also use Playwright MCP. Playwright MCP. Or else you can also use Playwright MCP where you can give a prompt of that particular test, and you can auto generate the automation script for the test case. You can automatically generate the automation script for that particular test case. So here, right, see, in the planning state itself and designing stage itself, we are using a playwright through which we are able to reduce your manual intervention. Okay, and then the next part here is the execution. Now, if I want to execute the tests that are automated, okay, I can execute it. When I am executing it, right, whenever I see any failure, normally, right, we use it to manually analyze that why we got that particular failure. Okay, and then, right, we use it to fix that in our automation script, and again we use it to perform rerun. And this capability is, right, whatever that you see, analyzing the failures, exploring the application. It is like these are done as steps, right? See, whenever you see any failure, right, when you're running your automation script, first you need to analyze that failure. And then you need to explore the application functionality. And then, right, you should also fix the failure based on the functionality, supportive. Okay, we should also explore the functionality and and you need to give the fix of failure based on the functionality supportive on your application. And that is called as failure fixing, right? So that is done using an agent called healing agent in your playwright. Okay, in your playwright. So we also have an agent called healing agent. So majorly, right, we can automate your complete process. What we are planning means defining the scope, what we need to manually generate test cases for them. It means that test cases will be also generated automatically using this planner agent, and we'll also automate it, which is nothing but a design, and using generator agent, and we'll also execute, and if there are any failure, right, it will be automatically analyzed, and that failure is also fixed by your playwright healing agent. Okay, and here, right, whenever, and see, here, right, we can also add, see, for example, once I have generated a report, that report will tell me how many got passed and as well as how many got failed. So whenever you see a failure, right, it means there is some deviation with your application. We can also automatically create a defect by adding some APIs of the test management tool like Jira, and you can also automate this reporting process as well. And that support is also available in your Playwright. It means, say, for example, whenever a test case got failed, and if it is like a deviation with your application functionality, right? We can also automatically create that as a defect in your test management tool, and we can assign that to developer. That process also we can automate it using this AI support. Means normally, right, we are currently saying we are using AI tools through which we can also enable or speed up our design, right? That part also we can automate it using your AI support, using in your current automation testing. Okay, and finally, closer is like we can also summarize and generate a report. We can also summarize and generate an sign off. Sign off means, see, if tester has tested some functionality, and if we say that it is signing off means there are no high priority. It means P0 and P1 defects. P0 and P1 defects, which will actually block your end user, which is a blocker for your end user to use that particular functionality. If you don't have any P0, P1s, right, then still we can release that functionality to your end user so that you can start using it. You can start using it. So this is your testing life cycle, right? In this testing life cycle, right, we actually use, if you see Playwright, right, you are able to automate your planning, design, execution, and if you use your AI support, right, we can also automate your reports, analyzing and summarizing and identifying deviation and raising a defect. And as well as we can also analyze are there any P0s and P1s based upon criticality. And if we don't see, right, we can also sign off that particular functionality for your release. That particular functionality for your release. So here, right, see, anyway, now this complete SDLC process can be automated, right? So now with respect to our current market and trends, right? You should be in a position to automate this end-to-end process as part of STLC using different tools. If I need to do automation testing, I will use the Playwright. If I need to analyze some report, or if I need to analyze my filter, where I need to see the list of defects, where I need to identify what are P0s, P1s with respect to functionality and end user, which will automatically analyze and give me a sign-off report. Whether I'm able to sign off this particular functionality to my end user as it is not blocking any functionalities that can be used by end user. That can be used by end user. So this is this complete thing, right? I need to automate. If I need to automate it, right? So we need to identify a tool which is supportive with your AI through which you are able to automate this end-to-end process, which is nothing but STLC. STLC. There we actually use multiple tools. See, normally, right? See, we are saying AI. AI means again, we see a term called Gen AI, we see a term called agents, and we see a term called agentic AI. Okay, and and we'll also see a term called MCP. So these are anyway, as of now, right, even though if I give you in detail, right, I don't think so that you guys will understand. So it means, see, AI means there are multiple under to your AI, which actually helps you to speed up your process and automate your process without any manual intervention. And if I need to do that, right, based upon my requirement, I need to use that supportive AI tools through which I can automate this end-to-end process. So this is nothing but your end goal. Means whatever that you do, right, you need to ensure that you're automating your complete SPLC process. You need to complete your end-to-end SPLC process. Okay. So anyway, now let me just now you got it right. So it's like we need to choose a tool which actually helps us to speed up your design. It means, say, for example, now if I need to make it simple, right? Let us say if I want to test something, right? First I need to plan, and then I need to design, then I need to execute, then I need to generate report, okay, and finally I need to closer my testing. Okay. So if I need to do all these activities without any manual intervention, the best tool in the market is nothing but Playwright. The best tool that what we choose to do this as nothing but Playwright. And see, one important thing, so many people, right, may have doubt. Sorry, if I need to automate this STLC process, we actually use this AI integration. Then only we are able to automate it. As part of this particular process, right, when we need to also do automation testing, right? If I need to do this automation testing, right, for this again, we have a lot of tools in the market, like we have Selenium, we have Cypress, and we have Playwright. In that, right, we majorly choose Playwright for our automation testing. So why we actually use Playwright for automation testing means again, we have some advantages. We have some advantages. Let us say it is nothing but it actually helps us to perform cross-browser testing. It supports multiple languages through which you can code. It also supports multiple operating systems. You can download and you can use this. You can use this in a Mac operating system, Ubuntu, Linux, Windows. It also has support of multiple operating systems. Okay, and it has an inbuilt, it has an inbuilt, inbuilt plugin, or else you can simply say inbuilt extension. It has an inbuilt recorder. I can simply say it has an inbuilt recorder, or what we actually say it as an extension, or you can say it as a plugin through which we can also speed up our design, through which you can also speed up your design, through which you can also speed up your design. Design means you can quickly write your script that needs to be get executed as part of the particular functionality to test it, And then, right, it also means if you are using AI capability with your Playwright, right, we can also enable healing mechanism. If you see any failure, right, we can also quickly analyze it and we can also quickly fix it without any manual intervention, Apart from this, right, we have a lot of other features like it also supports the parallel execution. It has an auto waiting capability. It has a very good debugging capability. It can reduce your flaky tests, and as well as it also have a default test runner. And whenever I want to debug, right, I need a few, whenever I need to debug, right, I have very good mechanism through which I can debug and I can also quickly fix my issue. Or whenever I need to analyze, whenever I need to analyze why I see failure, means why failures. Right, for that, right, again, we have default capability to capture screenshots, videos, and as well as we can also get the default traces. Okay, and also whenever you see traces, right, you can also see the network calls that what has been done when you're performing that action on your application. So we can also see detailed analysis through which you can easily identify why that particular test case got failed. Why that particular test case got failed. Okay, what is a test runner means? See, it is nothing but it is a graphical user interface from where, let us say, if I need to make it simple, right? What do you mean by test runner, right? See, it is nothing but we have a graphical user interface where it actually, we can access that interface as a test runner, from where you can run only your selective test cases. What like you can run at your test case level, you can run at suite level, you can run it on overall application level, or you can run your cases at your folder level. And without running or without running any commands, right? You can directly you can directly achieve these possibilities. Like you can also do analysis for your execution by seeing the reports, right? All this can be handled from your test runner for as an user interface only. You can open that test runner and you can see that. Okay, so that is the test runner. But anyway, it is like we don't have these test runners for other tools. If you see for Selenium, or if you see for Robot, or if you see for Cypress or something, right? We don't see what is a playwright healing. Healer is again an agent. See, I'll tell you, instead of directly typing here, right? See, let me just show you. See, first open your Chrome browser and directly type your playwright agents. If you type, right, you will get playwright agents. If you click on playwright agent, right, so you can see three agents. One is planner agent, generator agent, and healer agent. Healer agent will automatically repairs your failing tests. So it is not required that you need to manually fix some failed test. If you add your healer agent and if you try to analyze and if you ask it to fix it, right, it will automatically analyze and it will try to fix it. And this was released around 3 months before by your playwright. And another important thing here is, see, you may get one doubt, sir. Even though if you are using planner, generator, and healer from playwright, right? If it is not correctly generating or if it is not fixing it, then what was the approach? We also have a backup plan for it. We can also use agents. We can also use agents through which you can also enable these features using that agents. So which will also do as an which is nothing but a secondary option. If these agents which are given by playwright was not properly working, right, you can also use those agents, and you can also analyze and fix those failures. For that, right, we need to also use the MCP, because it will actually help us to analyze, and then we will fix that failure using agent. So this is how that we are going to this is how that we can also use these agents. So if I need to use these agents, right, first I need to understand a little bit basics on playwright. Without that, right, you can't use these agents or your AI support in your tool through which you can achieve these activities. Through which you can achieve these activities. Is this part clear? See, I'll tell you. See, this session is not like to understand all the features, because we can't cover all the features in a single 1.5 hour session. But here, right, I want to quickly show you. See, for example, let us say if I use Selenium. Let us assume that if I'm using Selenium or any other tool in the market. Okay, let us make it as some other tools in the market. Let us say you are using some tool through which you are actually using your automation testing. Okay, through which you are actually using your automation testing. Okay. Now, let us say if I want to generate reports, we need to use some third-party libraries. For example, if you let us say I want to automate this using Selenium itself, I may need to use to get reports, right? I may need to use JUnit, I may need to use TestNG, I may need to use Cucumber, or I may need to use the extend reports to generate reports. To generate reports. It means Selenium does not have the capability to generate report. But you need to use these third-party libraries through which you are able to generate a report for your execution. Okay, any execution. See, very simple. Just one quick announcement is like, see, any details regarding your class timings, sessions, features, when the sessions will start. This should be reached. You should reach the coordinator. Already we had created a group, right? If you tag a coordinator in that particular group, right, they will quickly help you with that information. See, I too don't know about these details, like when these sessions are getting, normally, right, as of now, I know these sessions are getting planned from Feb 4th at morning 7:30 a.m. IST. Any other sessions, right, apart from this, right, for that, right, you need to reach the coordinator who is coordinating you. They can help you with supportive information on it. Regarding a course duration, timing, what is the content that we will discuss, and what we are going to drive as part of these sessions, and why we, and fees, any support, any job support, any, what are all these details will be shared by your coordinator. I don't have idea on it. If you have any questions on the content part, right, that I will help you. Anyway, we are also going to do another two sessions, right, on Feb 4th and 5th, right, where you'll understand the detailed roadmap, that what we need to learn as part of Playwright. Okay, it is like, see, it is not required that you need to learn only, what it is not like that. You should, it is like, it is a roadmap. Wherever you learn, right, you should complete that roadmap to claim yourself as an Playwright automation tester. Okay. See, Playwright, again, as I said, right, A will not replace tools. So very simple, I'll tell you. For example, if I need to automate something, right, I will use Selenium, Playwright, or Cypress. If I use A, right, I'm able to speed up my activity. It does not replace my tool. Is this part clear? I'll tell you. It is like, say, for example, if I need to make it simple, right, let us say developers, right, they actually write code. Okay. If they need to write code, right, they actually use some tools or frameworks. Like they can actually use a Play framework, they can actually use Spring Boot, or they can actually use some framework through which they're actually writing some code which actually helps us to develop some functionality which will be used by your end user. If you use AI in development, right, it does not replace the tools. It will only replace, it will only speed up your design. So for example, let us say if I need to develop it using those tools, let us say if I need to develop that functionality, it will take around 30 days of time. If I use AI with that particular tools, right, it can be done in 10 days. It means it will only speed up your process. See, very simple. It's like if you are, it is very simple. See, normally, right, we whenever we do testing, right, people categorize testing as manual testing and automation testing. So here, right, as part of your manual testing, right, you should understand what is the process that you follow and what methodology. See, normally, right, whenever you are going to develop any software application, right, we actually follow a methodology, which is nothing but SDLC. It can be old model, new model, or agile methodology. So major number of organizations are using agile methodology for their development. So as part of your testing, manual testing, right, you need to understand what methodology and how you are going to implement STLC as part of testing to confirm you have tested that functionalities. If you are aware of these two, right, then you can, it is like, you can quickly start automation testing by learning all these activities through which you can enable automation testing. And if you are going to learn Playwright, right, this will be covered as part of your Playwright only. We will do workshops on Agile and we will also do workshops on STLC process, which actually helps you to understand that how you are injecting automation testing as part of this particular process. Is this part clear? Arnab. Okay. So that is it is like people, right? Actually, they plan manual testing for 2 months and then automation testing, right? Now, with respect to your current trends or openings in the market, right? We need to be early to the market and we should be early to crack our interviews with this tool. It is not like that. Again, you have around 6 or 7 months of time. You will learn and then you will prepare for 2 months and then you will start attending interviews, right? That plan or that approach will not work out with your current trend. It is like you should quickly learn within 1.5 months or 2 months, and you should start attending your interviews. So if you at least attend 5 or 6 interviews, right, then only you will get a confidence that how you are able to clear those interviews, that what with what you have learned. Is this part clear? Uh, See, fees, course details, please reach coordinator. We already have a group. You can ask by tagging at the rate of coordinator, so they will share you all those details. See, it again depends. See, it's very simple. If you ask me a question, right, like are companies visiting campuses for playwright roles means, for example, moving further, right, if there is any company which actually enables automation testing, right, they will actually enable automation testing only using playwright. And with the playwright, right, with what language that they are going to do it, right, major, if you categorize under to playwright, right, playwright can be automated using JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, and Java, and as well as .NET. If you see the portion, right, it will be 70% of your jobs will be with your JS and TS. 20% will be with your 20, not 20, it is near to 23%, it will be with your Python. And the another 7%, right, where you will see only 5% with your .NET and another 2% is with your Java. So if you compare, right, what you need to target is you need to target the 74 or 73% that what we have in the market, right, which is capturing with JS and as well as TS. Okay, and second, another question is like, yes, if you already know those basics, right, you can start attending these automation sessions. Okay, so see, we are going to drive these sessions using Playwright with JavaScript and TypeScript. Okay, we are actually going to drive these sessions using JavaScript and Playwright with JS and TS, because if you learn JS, right, you can also write your code using TS by understanding a few features. So we are going to drive this session with JS and TS. Okay, and the next one is, will be using AI and Playwright to write test code. Yes. See, first we will see what Playwright basics, and I will show you that how you can quickly generate Playwright tests using your Playwright. And then I will also show you, if you use AI, right, how you can speed up your design. Let us say if I am able to design my Playwright script in an hour, if I use AI, I can do that in 5 minutes. How I can quickly generate it using AI, like how you are going to use Journey agents, agentic AI, and as well as MCP servers. MCP servers. I have 4 experience in automation testing, but I don't have hands-on project experience. See, very simple. Here we are going to switch towards multiple applications to cover all the scenarios. And I will show you that how on a single test application, right, you can also develop an end-to-end framework using your Playwright. That should be considered as your project. And in the similar way, right, whatever the projects that you have worked in your previous experience, right, you need to map this automation testing with that previously worked projects, and you need to enable and you need to write your roles and responsibilities such a way that you have done automation testing in your previous projects. Okay, and then right, possible to switch from manual testing with 5 years. See, we don't have any option. So very simple. As of now, right, even though you are a manual, right, you will be tagged to some support projects where, right, already automation was in place, and where that application is completely stable enough, and where we don't have any major changes in that particular application, only maintenance activity, where you are releasing only patches which are released as part of your configurations. Only in such projects, right, you will see manual testing. If you want to really quick up your career, and second thing, right, if you also want your financial growth, right, then you need to switch to your automation testing. Okay, I will not say that automation testing will make your manual testing dead, because the first stage of your testing is manual. If I need to automate, right, first you need to manually test it and then you need to automate it. But if you are assuming, if you are claiming yourself as a tester, right, now the expectation in the market is you should be taken care of end-to-end testing. It means both manual and as well as automation. Is this part clear? See, very simple. See, now let us say if you consider the number of job openings in the market as 100%, right? In that 75% of jobs where you will see majorly from JavaScript and TypeScript, Playwright with JS and TS. You will see 15% of your jobs, another 23% of your jobs towards Python, Playwright with Python. And the rest, the 5 or 6%, right? You will see 4% with your .NET or C Sharp, and you may see 1 or 2% with your Java, Playwright with Java. So if you see, right, the major number of job openings are towards JS and TS, right? So you need to ensure that you are learning your Playwright with JS and TS. Is this part clear, Ram? Evening batch, details please reach coordinator in the group. Playwright execution is faster with JS or TS. See, Playwright execution is faster. We don't have any dependency on the language that how you code it. Because Playwright actually communicates with your browser using WebSocket protocol. So normally, right, if you use Selenium, right, it actually communicates with HTTP JSON wire protocol. When you compare JSON wire protocol or HTTP protocol with your WebSocket, right, WebSocket protocol is very faster. So your Playwright, if you use Playwright, it actually speeds up. We don't have any dependency with the language. Like whether you are using with JS, TS, Java, .NET or C Sharp, Python. Is this part clear? 8 point, see, now whatever that we are targeting as part of these course sessions, right? This will be common for 0 to 10 years. Even though you are a fresher or even though you are 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years experience guy, right? The content that what we drive is common and what you do as part of your real practice remains the same. Is this part clear, Abhishek? See, you're saying that you're already working as 8.5 years, right? Let us say there is a new fresher or there is a 3 years guy or there is a 5 years guy who joined your organization or your project. What you do as part of your roles and responsibilities and what he does remains the same with respect to testing. You may take some additional responsibilities like managing team, generating reports, generating weekly reports, attending your WBRs, attending calls with your clients. Those are like other activities based upon your experience. But with respect to automation testing, right? What you do as 0 years and what you do as 10 years remains the same. Yes. Please, right? Very simple. Understanding is like, see, we are saying this agents, AI, right? It actually, it is actually only 1 week session. If you learn those 1 week sessions, right, you can start using your AI and AI agents in your automation. But to use those agents, right, first you need some little bit basic on Playwright and what you code it using JavaScript, TypeScript, and what scenarios you have, and what are the possible ways, what are all the possibilities through which you are able to automate your applications, right? For that basics, to drive those basics, right, it will take around 30 to 40 hours. And then the last 10 hours is nothing but how you are integrating your AI into that particular automation testing to speed up your activities. How many companies come in a day? See, it again depends. It is like, see, it is not a layman game. So if I say, right, there will be around 20 companies who will call you, means it is not real, right? You can quickly check. See, for example, if I go to Naukri, okay, and if you directly open any job sites and you can directly search here. For example, if you see, right, it is not like that. If I say, right, you will definitely get a lot of calls in Playwright. And if you say, right, if I say that, right, it is oral. Instead of that, right, just go to any job site, whether it can be Naukri, Indeed, or LinkedIn or somewhere, and go and search for your Playwright. If you go and search your Playwright automation and click on enter. So it will give you all the required Playwright jobs. Now here, right, you have a filter, right? Just apply filter and check how many jobs you are getting on weekly basis or on monthly basis. So if you see right here, you have freshness, click on freshness and click on last 7 days. And if you see right, how many jobs are there in last 7 days? There are around 301 jobs posted in last 7 days. And in this, right, for example, if you are trying on any specific location, let us say you are trying on Hyderabad. So if you click on it, right, there are around 51 jobs that has been posted in last 1 week. Is this what clear? See, I don't want to give you a false number. See, you need to go to any job sites and you need to check the trends that how the job postings are available. Okay, and based on that, right, we need to plan. See, majorly, right, two things. See, it is not majorly. You need to remember two things. So the first thing is you should never ask for any data. You need to do your basic analysis. Second one is you should never ask what I need to learn. It's very simple. Based upon your analysis, right, which technology has a lot of openings, right, you need to learn that. That's it. It is not like that you are learning something so that the market should hire you. It is like what options that you have in the market, right? You need to learn the same so that you will get an opportunity. Is this part clear? Someone has asked me, right? Rohini. Okay, this tool when was introduced to automate? See, it is actively used by the organizations from last 14 months. But it was actively people started using this in the market from last 2 years. So if you are using this tool, right, even though if you are 8 years or 10 years experience, right, you can claim that I have experience with this tool from last 2 years. Not more than that. Not more than that. Previous experience, you need to claim with some other tools that you had used Selenium, Java, Selenium, Python, or some other tool through which you have automated. You can only claim that from last 2 years, right, you're actively working on Playwright automation tool. Okay. See, if you attend our sessions, right, from February 4th, anyway, first 1 week sessions will be free to attend. If you attend, right, you will really understand our teaching style. It is not like that if I say, right, this is how that we do it, right, it is like only oral. Instead of that, right, if you start attending and if you understand, right, if you see that how you drive, right, how we drive, right, then it will be really helpful for you guys. That how our style of teaching and why we are confident enough to say that we will cover all the concepts which will make you expert in your playwright, which will definitely make you expert in your playwright automation testing. Okay, yes, we will teach both. We will teach JavaScript and as well as TypeScript. If you learn JavaScript, right, you have almost learned 97% of your TypeScript. And a TypeScript has a few additional rules which actually helps you to strictly define types. That we will see, and we'll also convert our existing JavaScript to TypeScript so that you will easily understand what difference that you see between JS and as well as TS. What difference that you will see between JS and as well as TS. Is this part clear? So any other questions? So anyway, now let me see. It's like just I need another 10 to 15 minutes to quickly show you that why I am saying that Playwright tool is very easy. Why I am saying that Playwright tool is very easy. Just give me a minute. I'm getting a call. So duration of this course will be from 65 to 70 hours. Okay, and we are going to spend daily 1 hour 15 minutes to 1 hour 30 minutes. It depends upon the topic that we choose. And every week, right, we will do 5 sessions a week. And after 4 weeks, right, we will do workshops. See, when we are learning this automation testing, right, we also learn other tools like Git, GitHub, Docker, Jenkins, GitHub Actions, and as well as Playwright, GenAI usage in Playwright, Playwright agents, AI editors, and MCP servers. We will do all these sessions in our workshops. So you will easily understand how you are going to use these tools as part of your Playwright automation testing. Syllabus anyway, yeah, we'll get it. But anyway, I'll do a detailed walkthrough that what we are going to drive as part of those sessions on 4th February. I'll give you the roadmap. So then you can map that roadmap with your content, that what which has been shared by your Naresh IT coordinators. Okay, that will be shared in the group. So if you join in that group, right, you'll get to that all details, course content, drive, roadmap, everything, right, you'll get it. But anyway, if you see that content or if you see that roadmap, right, you may not get clear understanding that why we are learning all these. For that, right, I'll give you a detailed walkthrough that why we need to learn these as part of your automation testing to implement your automation as a CI/CD architecture, continuous integration and continuous testing architecture. That we will drive it on our in our session. Playwright, yes. If you already know any other tool and if you know at least one language, whether it can be C, C++, Java, any other language, right? It makes very easy for you guys to quickly learn Playwright. But this session is not only for experience, it is for layman as well. So we will drive everything from basic. Even though if you don't have any knowledge, right, but still we will see all those in a hands-on fashion with some examples, so you will easily understand it. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, so due to time limitation, right, we are not able to do any hands-on, but if you give me 10 minutes, right, I'll quickly show you. So for example, right, if I want to quickly show you, right, see why I'm saying Playwright, right? See, let me just show you first, right? Let me just show you the Playwright installation. Means we can we have, if I need to install Playwright, right, we have multiple ways to do it. Okay, but I'll show you the quick and easiest way to quickly install your Playwright. So first step is you need to install VS Code. Okay, and then the second step is you need to install an extension called Playwright. Okay, and the third step is you can directly record any test. Okay, and you can run that particular test from your VS Code. Okay, and I will show you an example that why I'm saying that Playwright already has all these inbuilt features. You can quickly enable based upon your requirement. Like what are the features? I'll show you one or two features because we anyway will see these in detail in our regular sessions. But people who are actually attending it as part of your this one, right? For them, right? See, first you need to open VS Code. Okay, if you open VS Code, right? Once you have opened VS Code, right? See, I had already used VS Code, so it is already open my existing project. Now, what I am doing it is I'm going to file, I'm going to open folder, and I'm quickly creating a new folder on my desktop. And let us say this is nothing but I'm simply saying Playwright workshop is nothing but the folder name. And I'm opening this particular Playwright workshop. If you open this particular Playwright workshop, right, that Playwright workshop folder will be opened in your VS Code. Now, if I want to quickly install Playwright and quickly run a test, right, what you need to do here is you need to click on extension. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. So if you see here, right, so I'm sorry, there is some disturbance. So it's like, say, for example, the first step here is you need to open VS Code and need to open this particular folder. Now, what I need to do here is here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You have a column called extension where you need to type a Playwright. So you will get Playwright for VS Code. Normally, right, it is already installed. In your case, right, you will get install button like this. If you click on install, right, that will be installed to your VS Code. That will be installed to your VS Code. Now, once you have installed it, right, again, you need to go back to your first option, folder option. You will be redirecting to the particular. You will be redirecting to that particular folder option. Now, I need to install Playwright. We have multiple ways to install it. In that, right, I'm showing you the simplest way. After installing this extension, right, if you click on at the top search button, you will see show and run commands. Here, right, you need to click on test to install or else you need to type Playwright. So you will get this option, test install Playwright. Now you need to select all these options and you need to click on OK. That's it. It will automatically run all the commands and it will install complete Playwright project under to that particular folder. Installation part, right, it is very easy when you compare with other tools. It will automatically run and it will automatically give you this structure. And if you see here, right, it will automatically create some sample tests as well. There are 2 test cases under to this. As of now, right, we don't have any, as of now, right, you guys don't have any knowledge, right? See, whenever you see test, right, this block is from here to here. This indicates one test case and this is your another test case. it will automatically give you 2 sample test cases. It will automatically give you 2 sample test cases. Now, if I want to run these test cases, right, what you can do here is, see, as I said you, right, we already, you normally, right, when you're designing it, you will actually run by running this particular command, like a playwright, npx playwright, test. It will automatically run all the test cases which are available under to this particular project. There are 2 test cases, right? It is running those 2 test cases. It is running those 2 test cases on 3 browsers. It is running those 2 test cases on 3 browsers. So 2 into 3. So total 6 test cases it is showing. Then how do you know that how many browsers are configured? If you go to playwright config file, right, here you can see that you see there are 3 browsers. One is WebKit, second one is Firefox, and third one is Chromium browser, which is already configured to your playwright project. If you don't want to run in all these 3 browsers, you can comment it. So I want to run my test case only on Chromium browser. Now again, if you go back to this terminal and if you run this command, npx playwright test, it will run these 2 test cases only on Chromium browser and it will give you the result. See, only on Chromium browser and it will give you the result. Defaultly, it executes these test cases in a headless mode. If I want to execute that in headed mode, I need to give hyphen headed. So it will run by opening your browser. It will not run in the back end. Now this time, right, it will open browser and it will run your test case and it will give you the results. Okay, now anyway, as I said you, right, in Playwright, right, you have default test runner. If I want to open default test runner, right, I need to write hyphen headed. I need to say hyphen UI. If you click on it, right, it actually opens a test runner. So this is your test runner. As I said you, right, where you will have a graphical user interface. See, it will show you the file name, test name. If you want to if you want to run only one test, you need to click on this play button. It will run that particular test. Okay, and it will run that particular test and it will give you the result. If you want to run all the test cases which are present on that particular file, if you click on that file, it will run both the test cases. In this way, right, you have a test runner from where you can run only selective test cases. Like if you want to run all the test case under to that particular folder, file, at test level, you can use this test runner. And if you want to see the detailed steps, if you select the test, right, see these are the steps that got executed. And when you're executing any step, right, if you want to see the network details, what API calls that are done in the back end, you can also see that particular network details, that what got executed when you're executing that particular test. You can also see what actions, what actions has been performed, and you can also see each action, when that action is performing, right, what is your browser. You can also see that browser, and you can also see initially it has launched and then it has opened this website. You can also do time travel, at what time, what has happened on your application. That is like, this is like a test runner. See, anyway, we'll see that in detail, but as of now, I just want to show you. Whenever you are going to set up your Playwright configuration, it will automatically give you sample 2 test cases. If you want to run it, you can run it from terminal or else you can run it by opening your test runner and you can run it. And you can run it. And another important thing is after running the script, the browser closes automatically. Yes, it will automatically closes, or else you can also write some code to close that browser and as well as the session. Whatever, here also we have certain hierarchy. Whenever I need to open any application on a browser, right? First we'll open on a browser, then context, then page. So you can also control these 3 elements based upon your requirement, that how you want to execute that particular test. So that, right, anyway, as of now, right, you don't have any idea on fixtures. So even though if I tell you, right, you will not understand it. But so I just want to make you to understand that how you can quickly set up, how you can run your tests, and how you can use a test runner. And for example, if I want to run the same test in debug mode by line, see all these features, right? If you are using any other tools, right, you need to add additional libraries to use those features. But if you are using Playwright, right, they are already enabled defaultly in your Playwright. See, for example, I want to do debugging. I can simply say hyphen debug. That's it. It will automatically launch debug mode. It will automatically launch debug mode through which I am able to debug my test. As I said you right, we have multiple ways to do installation. This is one of the way because due to time constraint, I'm showing you the simplest way through which you can install and you can start using your Playwright. You can start using your Playwright. Okay. So if you see right, see now it has opened in debug mode. Now if you see right, now if I click on this symbol, it will execute step by step. Now this symbol, it is validating. Now it will close that browser. Now again it is opening for your second test case. Now again if I run, I can execute step by step. Now I am checking. Now once the checking has been done right, it will close my browser. So this is how I can also enable debug mode and I can see where it is getting failed. Again, we have different ways to debug. In that right, one of the way is nothing but this hyphen debug. Okay, so this is like, it means any feature, right? See, for example, if I want to generate report, it is already enabled in that particular Playwright. So if you click on this npx Playwright show report, right, it will automatically open report. So this is your Playwright report, which will be seen in your HTML format. And you can see this is the test, what steps got executed and what has happened in each and every step. Now, for example, I want to attach a screenshot. You can directly go to this playwright config.js and here, right, you can just enable screenshot as on. Okay, screenshot as on. It means defaultly when I'm executing any specific test, right, I want to get a screenshot. Now again, if I go back to my Playwright terminal, what it is again, if I go back to Playwright terminal, okay, and if you are going to execute this, right? So now again, if I go back, now if I'm going here to this one terminal and I'm clicking on new terminal, I am into this particular terminal. Now if you go back, now I can simply say, I can simply, now again, if I want to run this particular test, I need to run npx playwright test is the command. I am executing it. Now this time, right, when I'm executing this, right, it will automatically capture screenshot as well. So now if you go back and if you open your report, so if you open your report of your Playwright, so you can also see, so if you see, right, this is your Playwright test and if you click on this test, let's see, you can also see screenshot got attached. It is not required. Again, you need to use some other library or you need to write some additional code to get screenshots as well. It's like all these features are defaultly enabled. Only the thing is you need to configure that so that you can start using those features while running your Playwright tests. This is not clear. And second, see now let us say I want to design a new test. Now what I need to do here is I need to just open Chrome browser. Now let us say, see I want to design a new test. Let us say I want to go to google.com site. Now we have a plugin called Playwright CRX. If you go and click on Playwright CRX, right, you will get this Playwright CRX. Now I can record it. So for example, I want to open google.com site and then I want to type here Selenium or Playwright and I need to press enter. So you will get this result. So this is the recorded script. I can copy this particular script. I can go back to my test and I can create here a new file. Let us say that file name is google.spec.js. Whenever you are going to create any test, right, you need to add spec.js and you can paste it. Now save this particular test. Now if you want to run this particular test, right, you need to give only the file name. Say I need to give npx playwright test and what is the file name? File name is Google. If you run this, right, it is going to run that particular test. And it will fail because Google will not allow you to run your automation script. So it is passing because I have not added any validation. Now if you see here, right, by typing headed, you can see that how it was performed on your browser. So if you see here, right, it is actually opening and then it is opening Google, typing Selenium and it is very fast. If I want to make this particular script as to little bit slow down, right, you can add some wait statements after performing every action. Like await and I need to write page dot wait for timeout. Okay, and then write I need to give that particular timeout here. Let us say I want to wait for 3 seconds after opening your google.com. I need to give 3000. And this statement, right, if you give, right, it is like blind wait, how you do it in your Selenium. So this will actually show you that what is happening. Normally it is not required because it will automatically handle it. But if I want to see my execution, right, I am giving blind wait so that you can easily see it. Okay, so if you see, right, see, it has automatically captured it. See, it is typing Selenium after 3 seconds, and then after 3 seconds, it is pressing enter, and it is automatically closing your browser. Okay, so this is how that if you want to see, right, you can add some wait time to see that test, or else it will speedily execute it. Yes, sir. See, normally, right, if I need to make it simple, right, see, whenever you're going to learn your automation testing, see, what you need to learn under to automation testing. If I need to make it very, very simple, right, under to automation testing, right, see, if I need to perform automation testing, right, we actually interact with our application, right? If I need to interact with our application, right, first thing is you need to locate elements. So for that, right, we actually use the locators. Second thing is you need to perform actions. So for that, right, you need to understand the methods or functions which are available through which you can perform actions. Third thing is you need to validate it. After performing actions, right, you need to validate it. Then only you will say whether that particular test got passed or failed. So you need to learn in how many ways that you can locate an element, and how you are going to perform actions, and how you are going to validate it. If you are able to learn all these three, right, you have learned 80% of your automation testing. You have learned not 80%, it is 70% of your automation testing. The rest are nothing but the tools or the AI usage that what you use to speed up your automation testing to implement your automation solution as a CI/CD architecture. It is not like that if you know how to write automation testing, right, it is enough. In your real practice, right, you need to enable that automation testing as CI/CD architecture, continuous integration and continuous testing architecture. So if you need to enable that, right, then we need to also learn other tools like GitHub, Jenkins, GitHub Actions, Docker, what in a Playwright agents, MCP, AI usage, all these are also required. So that is the reason we need to learn all that as well as with your automation testing, which covers another 30%. Okay, and what you know, 10, your 20% and 10% is majorly towards framework design. How do you write modularity, data driven? How do you write by following a design pattern called page object model? And if you want to write this code, right, you should also understand a little bit basics on JavaScript, like how do you declare a class, method, functions, and as well as how you are going to enable object-oriented programming like encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance, and how you are going to write your reusable code by defining a structure as a framework. All these, right, we will see. It is like, see, today's session is like only I want to quickly show you as an workshop, but we majorly spend on explaining only. So we had gone through that how you can quickly install Playwright, and how you can run your tests, how you can open your test runner, and if I want to enable any option, how it can be configured from your config file. We have a lot of features. I explained you only one, how to capture screenshot now. Okay, and then right, I had also shown you that how you can quickly record and add that particular script to your Playwright and generate code. Now this is nothing but the raw code. Now I want to write this particular code in page object model. It is not required. Again, I need to manually convert this code to page object model. If I use AI, right, AI agents, right, it will automatically write my code in page object model. So for that, right, first you need to understand what is Gen AI model, LLM, prompt, and then we need to understand that how you are going to use AI integration with Playwright, and then only you are able to use that AI in your Playwright tests. Then only you can start using your Playwright in your Playwright tests. See, it is like I just want to quickly show you that how fast the installation, how fast you can drive a script, design a script, and how you can execute it. And as I said, right, Playwright has all these features like test runner, auto handling, auto wait, and what you know, like agent, like a planner, generator, agent. So I just want to give you an just a basic idea that why, right, people started using this tool, and it is very easy to quickly learn this tool when you compare it with other tools in the market. Okay, other tools in the market. See, now if you ask me for an example, right? So for example, if you want to learn Selenium with Java or Python, right, it will take around 90 to 120 hours to learn that course. But if I frankly speak, right, if you want to learn Playwright, right, it will not take more than 40 to 50 hours. But still, right, we are also going to use other mechanisms and tools, right? So we are actually driving it for 70 hours. So we are also driving other tools like Git, GitHub, Jenkins, GitHub Actions, Docker, CI/CD architecture, and how you are going to use Gen AI agents, AI editors, MCP, and as well as the Playwright agents. So these concepts, right, we are taking additional 20 hours apart from your Playwright to cover and to implement that using CI/CD architecture. So anyway, now we are open for questions. Anyone has any questions or any doubts, right? You can ask me in your chat window so that I can help you with supportive data for it. I can also help you with supportive data for it. Any layman question, that is also okay, because see, if you are completely new, right, you may have a lot of questions. And there may be many who does not understand that what we have derived in today's session as well. That was okay, because it is like we have conducted this to quickly show you as in how you are going to use it. But we'll actually drive very basic from our regular sessions on 4th. Right? So anyway, first 1 week, right, it will be completely free sessions. If you start attending, right, you will get an idea. That why I am saying that it was designed for layman, even though if you don't know any coding, or if you are new, if you are completely new to computers as well, right, computer science as well, right, we can also still make you to be expert in another 60 days. CI/CD Docker Jenkins, it will take around 7 to 8 hours. On JavaScript, yes, we will see JavaScript and TypeScript as well. We'll show you that how you need to do that complete setup and what you need to learn under to JavaScript, TypeScript, and we'll see that. Yes, sir. When I say AI editors, right, there we will see VS Code with Copilot, and we'll also see Cursor AI editor. Harish. Once you got it right, we will see JavaScript and this one. See, anyway, the first session, right, that what we do on February 4th, right, there I'll tell you the roadmap. That what we are going to cover as part of each and every tool, and what was the sub-content for it. There you will easily understand that why we are learning all these tools as part of your Playwright automation testing. Yeah, it also includes Git and as well as GitHub. But anyway, I'll share you that complete and our course content as well. Please go through that content. And anyway, I'll do a walkthrough of that particular content on 4th February. You will easily understand it. Any other questions? See, my very simple open statement is, if you want to grab immediate opportunity with in your automation testing, right, you need to choose only Playwright. Don't choose any other tools. It is like wasting of your time. Very simple. Wherever you learn, right, very simple. You need to choose only Playwright, because your Playwright will lead your market for next 10 to 15 years in automation testing. Okay, so you're simple. See, because why I'm giving you this word here is, see, if you see if you go to any other, right, they will say no, it is still we have Selenium with Java, Selenium with Python, job openings as well. But definitely they will be also get migrated in another 6 months to Playwright. See, currently you may see few job openings on Selenium with Java, because see, there may be a lot of projects in the market, right? See, there are few projects which are running from last 10 years, where we see major projects like banking or insurance or financial sector projects, right? They have already implemented their automation testing using Selenium with Java. So they don't immediately migrate it to Playwright, because it is a time-taking process for them, because there are around 4,000 to 5,000 regression scripts which are regularly executed as part of their regular testing. So if they need to migrate it, right, they may need some time, around 3 to 6 months of time to migrate their scripts completely to Playwright. So you may see such maintenance projects openings where you will see with the Selenium with Java, Python, or any other frameworks. But moving further, right, if there are any new projects that are getting started, or if there are any existing projects, right, which will definitely migrate in your, which will be definitely migrated to your Playwright in another 6 months of span. So this is a clear-cut statement, because see, if you want me to give my example itself, right, I deal around 32 teams, and we had already migrated around 27 or 28 teams to Playwright around 12 months before itself. And there are a few where we have not migrated because we don't have any major dependency on UI. we are testing them using at API and DB level. So any tool which we are doing it at API or DB level, right? Any language or any library will have same speed. So we have not migrated them. But anywhere that we are implementing UI relevant testing, right? We have already migrated all our projects to Playwright. Yes, we can also see database testing means not the core DB testing. UI interactive DB testing means you are going to perform some action on UI and you are going to check those details in your backend DB. Or you are going to retrieve some details on your UI and you are going to check whether those details are properly retrieved from your backend DB. That testing is possible. But we need to add just a library like MySQL or if you are using NoSQL databases like MongoDB or Cassandra, right? We need to add those libraries and you can still do the DB testing as well using your Playwright with JS. Migrate from Selenium. It again depends upon the number of scripts. See, normally, right, if you have 1,000 scripts, right, it will take around if you want to quickly migrate around 1,000 scripts, right, we can migrate around 150 to 200 scripts per month. If you have a team of 1 or 2 members. See, we will see multiple applications. See, we will see some real applications and I will show you some scenarios and we'll also see some test applications and we'll automate it. Okay, we don't stick to only a single application. So if I stick to single application, right, if you are getting any new elements where you need to perform some action, right, you will confuse. So we keep on switching multiple applications based on scenario and I will also show you that how you can do an end-to-end automation of a single application. I will explain that and I will give you that as an exercise so you can practice that in your labs. So SQL is nothing but structured query language through which you can interact with your database. So databases, we have two types, right? Relational database management systems and NoSQL, means non-structured databases. So whenever you're interacting with structured databases, right, we use a language called SQL, structured query language, where you can run that query from your JavaScript and you can also retrieve data from database. You got it right, Koti? See, very simple. Every scenario that you can do it on your application can be automated. We don't have any restrictions that we can only automate only this part. It again depends on how you use it. See, for example, if it is only one-time usage, right, we never automate it. If I need to execute it for multiple times, if I need to repetitively execute it for my validations, then we will actually automate it. And very simple, right? See, people say that still we have few where we can't automate it, right? See, whenever you're going to use any UI automation tool to automate it, right? Your automation completely depends upon the backend HTML code of that particular web page. If you are not able to locate or if you are not able to perform action on, if you are not able to see that element HTML code in the backend HTML code, that cannot be automated. Don't think that captcha cannot be automated, image cannot be automated, flux cannot be automated. It is very simple. Every element that what you see on your application, right, it has a backend HTML code. You can see that backend HTML code. See, whenever you open any application, right, if you right click and if you click on inspect, right, you can see the backend HTML code for it. If you see, right, this is nothing but the backend HTML code for it. And if you're able to see the backend HTML code for every element, every element will have a specific backend HTML code. If you are not able to see that backend HTML code in the backend, that cannot be automated. Because your automation tool completely depends upon the backend HTML code of that particular web page. So that is one blind rule. Don't say that we can't automate image, we can't automate captcha, we can't automate OTP. It's right. If you are not able to see that you are not able to see that in the backend HTML code, you can't automate. Is this part clear? Rahul. Anyway, these things, right, we will see multiple examples in our regular sessions, then you will get some expertise on it. As of now, right, see, I don't know means what part you are able to understand. Okay, so anyway, we will anyway, as I said, right, the first week, right, we'll have free sessions. And please ensure to join so you will understand. It is for layman, not only for experienced. Please remember that in your mind. It is we are targeting everybody. It's like we will drive everything from basic. It may appear little bit boring initially because we go very slow, because any new members, right? They should also understand the basics, that where we are actually using them, right? But I'll guarantee you that within 40 hours, right, I will make you an expert in your Playwright automation testing. Okay, that is what it is. And anyway, that part, right, instead of me orally saying it, right, if you see at least one or two sessions, right, you will easily understand that why we are so confident to say that. Okay. Any other questions? So if you are good, right, see, anyway, there is a group that has been created, and if you need any info or any questions, right, please reach in that particular group the coordinator, so that he can help you with the complete info. Okay, and if you still have any, right, you can also attend a session on 4th Jan, 4th Feb. That is nothing but a coming Wednesday. And if you have anything, right, you are always welcome to get any sort of questions. With respect to automation. Okay, so see, anyway, once you paste them, right, in that particular group, right, they will automatically add you into that WhatsApp group. So please reach coordinator, they will automatically add you that particular group, because I too don't know which group that they have created. So once we are done with this session, right, they will add all into a single group. That we will know in another 1 hour or 2 hours of span. Okay, so if you need any info, right, please reach coordinators and they will help you. Okay, see, they would have posted you that link in that group, right? Or else, they are already sharing that group link here. If you scroll a little bit up in our chart window, right? They are keep on posting that group details here. See, this is like meeting URL, and please join community. Okay, so please, again, I am resharing that in your WhatsApp. Please join in that community. Then where you will have coordinators, and her name is Vani. You can reach her. She will help you with some additional info. Any info you need. Is this part clear? Okay. So anyway, but I thought of covering a lot of things, but due to time constraint, right, I'm able to only cover up at least advantages, that why people are getting migrated. And I had quickly shown you, it is not like that, this will really help you, but it will give you at least an idea that why, right, when you compare with other tools, right, Playwright has more advantages, and why people started migrating to this particular tool. Okay, anyway, we'll go ahead in a detail roadmap on 4th February, coming Wednesday at morning 7:30 a.m. And if you reach that coordinator in that group, right, they will share you all the meeting URLs and all the required info, whatever that you're looking for. Is this part clear? And they had also shared you that meeting link as well currently in the group. Please bookmark that. And it is planned at 7:30 a.m. So the first 1 week, right, there is nothing, it is like I will drive you the complete roadmap, that why we are learning, what is the purpose of learning these tools with Playwright, and why it is important, right? To get that understanding, right, first you need to attend the first 2 sessions. So please attend. Then we'll continue with our regular sessions. Then you'll get some idea. Okay, any questions anywhere, even though you can browse anywhere, and if you have any questions, right, please come back with that questions. So I can help you with that info. So I can clarify your doubts, and I can make your learning smooth and faster. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for bearing me for last 2 hours. Thank you, guys. And again, we will rejoin on join on 4th February. That is nothing but coming Wednesday at morning 7:30 a.m. So if you are good, right, we can wind up. Thank you, guys.